This is Yin Yoga for hips. So we're going to be working on a lot of openings, but specifically in the ITB area. So if you have really tight ITB muscles from running, walking, or just generally from sitting in a chair, this is going to be great for you. So we're going to start off in a nice comfortable seated position. Try doing it with your knees crossed, your legs crossed, because this is already a hip opener. And when we talk about hip openers, it's not just externally, it's also internally. So we're going to start off with our knees nice and low. If your knees are up here, don't worry, they will eventually come down. It does take time, but what you can do to start off with, which I like to do, is either you can use a cushion, you can pop a nice flat cushion under your bum, or if you need something higher, use a brick. So pop something under your hips. This just helps to tilt the pelvis slightly forward, keep your back nice and long. For this video, we are going to need a bolster, but if you are quite flexible, you can always do without. So it's not 100% necessary, it's just nice to have around. And keep a brick around as well for pigeon pose if you're used to using one. So sit up nice and tall, bring your shoulders over your hips, your ears over your shoulders. Inhale deeply, lift your shoulders up, and exhale, roll them round and down, close your eyes. Breathe in nice and deeply through the nose, and exhale through the nose. Bring your awareness solely into your body. Allow yourself to focus only on the here and now. All those worries, those tasks, those things that need to be done, those things that have been done, put them aside for the moment. Acknowledge that your practice, your time with yourself is also necessary. We have to look after ourselves so that we can be the best and do the best that we can. Use your exhale as a vehicle for transporting, taking away anything negative within you. Feel it leaving your body with the air rushing out through your nose. On your next exhale, gently bow your head to the earth and then blink your eyes open. Come onto your hands and knees. And we're going to come into our first hip opener. So if you're using a cushion, you can put it to one side now. If you have a bolster, I would recommend using one because we're going to come into quite an intense pose. So we're going to come into frog pose. So we're going to start off in tabletop position, and then we're going to open our knees wider than our hips. And they're actually going to stretch out wider than that even. So open them as wide as you feel comfortable, and then you're like, oh, there's a little bit of a stretch there, then stop. Now, depending on how your hips are formed, start off by having your hips in line with your knees. Then play with the position of your feet. Either you can bring your feet directly behind your knees, or you can have your toes facing inwards like you do for child's pose. And again, depending on how your hips are formed, maybe your bum slides slightly back, maybe it slides forward. Find that posture that works for you. And then on an exhale, bring your chest down to your bolster. You can always go straight down to the mat if it's more comfortable for you. Rest your head on one side. Make sure your head is supported. You shouldn't have anything pushing against your belly. You want to leave the belly nice and loose. Rest your head to one side, and again, find that posture that works for you. Maybe today it's more comfortable to have your toes turned in. Maybe the stretch is better with your feet out. Find what works. Bring your arms down where they feel comfortable. Take a nice deep inhale in. And we're going to rest here for 3 minutes. Nice and gentle. Nice and tranquil. Maybe close your eyes. Feel that stretch increasing. If you're on a surface like mine, maybe your knees continue to slide outwards. If this isn't agreeable, turn so that both your knees are on the mat, which will help stop the sliding. However, being on a slippery surface can be a nice way to get nice and deep as your body relaxes. Continue to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Notice I'm using a fairly archaic form of measuring time. And it's a lot less distracting than having something vibrating. It's always important to make sure that whatever you're doing, if you're doing 2 sides like we are now, that you do it for the same amount of time. So take a nice inhale, lift your head, and as you exhale, twist your head to the other direction. Rest it back down on your bolster and continue your stretch. And then on your next inhale, gently bring your hands back underneath you. Put the weight into your hands, lift your chest up, bring your toes in, and very slowly, very gently, this was a very intense stretch, bring one knee in and then the other. Feel that relief in your hips, in your groin. Sit back, wiggle from side to side if you need to. Do whatever counter posture feels right for you. Maybe you just enjoy staying still. And your next inhale, lift yourself up, come back onto your heels, drop your hips to one side, and bring your legs out in front of you. And you can see we're already ready for our next stretch. So, we're going to have our legs slightly, we're going to come into a forward fold. We're going to have our legs slightly open. So it's not a true straight leg forward fold. This means then that we can use a bolster to rest on. If this doesn't work for you and you prefer having your legs together, then that's by all means, that's absolutely fine. If you have a tendency for your lower back to come out and for your spine to round backwards, use your cushion like we did at the beginning. Pop it underneath your bum, and that just helps to push you forward to come into a deeper stretch. If you can't come all the way down to your cushion, pop your brick underneath, and then it's nice and high. So choose the height, choose the material that works for you. When you're ready, take a nice deep inhale, lengthen your spine, and then as you exhale, gently bow down. We're looking for a stretch on the back of our hamstrings. Allow your arms, your hands to relax. You can have them wherever you like, as long as you're not holding and pulling yourself forward. That's not the purpose of Yin. In Yin, we want to be totally relaxed. You may find that as you allow your head to fall down, you get a lovely stretch running down each side of your spine into your bum. That's a bonus stretch. However, if you're just feeling it in your legs, know that that's perfectly okay as well. You're going to hold this one for slightly longer than the previous. So be brave. Maybe close your eyes. Inhale. Feel your spine lengthening as you inflate your lungs. And as you exhale, feel yourself sinking down to occupy space that you've created. Feel your body slowly releasing, relaxing as you move closer towards your objective if you're not already touching your support. Feel the micromillimeters you gain with every exhale. If you are still quite high up and you're not feeling it in your legs, but mostly in your back, then bend your knees, which will allow you to come further forward and now sink further down and stretch more in your legs rather than your back. That's also why we encourage putting a cushion under the bum to help you lean further forward so the stretch is more on your legs than your spine. Once you feel the stretch in your legs, then you can start working on straightening them so the backs of the knees are on the floor. Remember, lengthening your muscles, lengthening your tissue. It takes time, it doesn't happen overnight. So be kind and gentle to yourself. You never know, maybe one day you'll be able to be flat on the floor. Over halfway through. For those of you who are now pressing quite firmly against your support, if you want to, you can take that support away to leave free space between you and your next level. Or, on a nice deep inhale, you can lengthen your spine, pulling yourself forward towards your toes. Use the inhale to do this. Don't pull with your hands. It's the inhale that lengthens and pushes you forward. And you'll feel that as you come down, you're stretched a little bit further closer to your toes. And that stretch will increase as well. You're lengthening your body to flatten it out. And at the same time, it means that you're pulling those hamstrings longer. Your breath is like a circle, inhaling to intensify everything, to bring energy into your body, and exhaling to release and relax yourself. Just a few more breaths. And then on the next inhale, gently walk your hands towards yourself, rolling up one vertebra at a time. Move slowly. Yin is not a fast yoga. Yin is a very slow yoga. Bend your knees. Move your cushion to one side or your bolster. And then bring your feet behind you, coming back into your tabletop position. Now I'm going to come into my favorite posture, which is pigeon. So we're going to start off with the right leg. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. We're going to do 3 minutes on each side. You're more than welcome to do longer if you feel that that's what you need today. So in your tabletop position, gently slide your right knee to your right wrist and turn your right foot out to the left so that's roughly below your hip. And then as you exhale, slide your left foot back, bringing your left hip down to your heel. You can always bring your right foot further forward if you need more of a stretch. Place it where you feel comfortable. Fiddle around if you're feeling like there's friction between your thigh and your calf. Make sure that you're nice and comfortable. If you're leaning too heavily to the right, prop your right bum cheek up with a brick. So just pop it under your bum, and that will help place the weight into the left hip, because we want the weight to be even in both hips. Again, as you exhale and you come down towards the mat, if it's too far away, don't hesitate to use a support. You can use your bolster to make it as comfortable as possible. Or you can come straight down to the floor. Swan pose, relax, lie yourself down. Just make sure you still have that weight moving into the left hip. Do all your fidgeting at the start. Check that your knee is okay. It's really important there's no pain in that knee. And then when you're ready, relax your head. Take a nice deep inhale, lengthen the spine. And exhale. Feel your body sinking down to the earth. Don't worry what your left foot is doing. Your left toes do not have to be in line with your ankle. This is a myth. Your left foot can do whatever it wants to do. Even if you're high up, as long as you feel the stretch in your outer right thigh, that's the area we're targeting, then you're doing great. This is an area where we store a lot of energy, a lot of emotions, a lot of stress. So it's a posture that can often give rise to quite intense feelings. And these feelings can sometimes express themselves in very strong emotions and can sometimes result in us giggling nonsensically or even crying for no reason at all. If this is uncomfortable for you, you can come out of the position. But just know that this is completely natural, and this is your body's way of detoxing itself, of releasing anything negative that you've been storing in that area. As tiring as it may be, you may feel an immense sense of relief and satisfaction at the end. So take this time to explore what's happening within you, both physically and emotionally. Remember, you can come out of this posture whenever you feel you need to. And you can also come into a deeper variation whenever you feel you need to. And then an inhale, lift yourself back up onto your hands. Take the weights into your palms, gently slide your left knee forward, untwist your right leg, feel that relief. Wiggle yourself around if you want to, or you can just stay still and relish that sensation. This is always the addictive part of yin, is when you come out of a posture. If you want to take a counter posture, tuck your toes under, move your hands slightly forward, and then lift yourself up into a downward facing dog. You should probably feel that your heels are quite close to the earth today because we've already stretched out our hamstrings. Come back down to your mat when you're ready. Prepare yourself, and on your inhale, slide your left knee forward, turn your foot out to the side, and then slide your right leg back. Remember, each side is different, so don't be surprised if one side is harder than the other. Maybe you're really high on this side, and maybe if you didn't need it on the other side, you might need a brick on this side. Just pop it under your hip there. Or maybe you're a lot looser on this side and you can go straight down to the earth. Just be kind to yourself if you find these differences and know that it's perfectly natural. Bring your left foot as far forward as you feel comfortable. Make sure the weight is evenly placed in both your hips and you're not falling to the left. And then when you're ready, lower yourself down to the earth. Take a nice deep inhale, lengthen the spine, and as you exhale, sink down as low as you can, coming onto whatever support you need, or coming straight down to the ground. Again, take the time to explore what's happening within you. Fidget at the beginning, and then resolve within yourself to be still. What is it that you feel here? Maybe there's no emotional response. Maybe you're just feeling that wonderful stretch in your outer hip. Check in with your knee. Make sure that it's happy. Inhale nice and deeply and visualize that air entering into your body and pushing against that stretch, creating space. And as you exhale, feel your hips sinking just a little bit lower, your belly coming a little bit closer to that heel. Your body sliding down towards your mat. Continue to breathe in and out through the nose. Maybe your stretch isn't just in your hip. Maybe you can feel it throughout your body. If you feel you're sinking down and you need a deeper stretch, don't be afraid to shift. We're allowed to move for 2 reasons in Yin. One is to go deeper into a stretch, and the second is to come out of a stretch. You never need to wait for someone else's cue to move deeper or come out. It's important that you listen to your body and do what is right for you. And on your next inhale, gently lift yourself up, place the weight back in your hands, slide your right knee forward, untwist your left leg, come back into your tabletop. Again, take any counter posture you feel is necessary, maybe just enjoy being still. Counter posture for pigeon is downward facing dog. Make sure you're protecting your shoulders and your wrists if you do a down dog. And then on your exhale, gently come back down to the earth. Sit back on your heels. And then we're going to come into saddle pose. Last stretch, stretching at the front of our thighs. So you might want to use a bolster for this. It's entirely up to you. If you are going to use a bolster, have it nearby. Saddle pose. We're going to allow our heels to come out side to the side. Your knees will naturally move apart. They don't have to be together. Allow them to do what they need to do. And then as you exhale, if you don't need equipment, just come straight back down to your mat. Nice little back bend, nice little chest opener, stretching out the front of your thighs. If you do need equipment, which is perfectly normal, perfectly natural, you can pop a bolster behind you so you don't come all the way down to the ground. Don't put it straight against your bum, give your lower back space. And you can always make it a little bit higher with a brick. So, coming into a nice gentle variation. This is a lot less uncomfortable on the knees and the ankles with a little bit of support. If your ankles are very uncomfortable, roll up a blanket and pop them underneath the ankles. And if this becomes too much for your knees, what you can do, you have to pause the video, is you just do one side at a time coming out. So find that spot that works for you. If you're already in cell, you've probably been in it for a minute. So we won't do much longer. This is a very intense posture. Never be afraid to come out too soon. And for those of you all the way down on the ground and want a full body stretch, bring your arms over your head. Deep breaths in. Long breaths out. If you have your back supported and you're still finding that the twist in your knees is uncomfortable, bring your feet together and sit on your heels. Takes pressure off the knees. It does make it more intense for your ankles though. So you've got to pick your battles. Do what works for you today. And know that tomorrow may be different. As you inhale, feel your chest opening, your sternum rising. And as you exhale, feel your bum pressing down towards the earth, that arch in your spine. For those of you lying on a bolster or a brick, gently lift yourself up, move your equipment to one side, and then come back down to the earth after you've unfolded your legs. For those of you flat on the ground, you can roll to one side to straighten out one leg, and then roll to the other side to straighten out the other leg. Coming straight back onto your back. Stretch your legs out and then maybe bring your knees into your chest, hug yourself. Little counter pose for that back bend. Nice little posture for the knees, the lower back. Rock yourself from side to side. And then exhale. Bring your legs back down to the earth. If you're cold, cover yourself in a blanket. Arms by either side, palms facing the sky, toes flopping out. Close your eyes. Scan your body from head to toe, checking that all your muscles are relaxed. Everything feels long and loose. Bring your awareness back into your third eye. Follow your breath. And then take a nice deep inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. Rest here easy. In Savasana. your next inhale, start to wiggle your fingers, your toes. Roll your ankles around. And then when you're ready, bend your knees, soles of your feet to the floor. Exhale, roll to one side of your body. And then on your inhale, lift yourself back up. Come into your comfortable seated position. Hands on your knees. Bring your shoulders over your hips, your ears over your shoulders. Inhale to lengthen your spine. And exhale to release. Bring your hands to your heart center and to your forehead. Bow your head down to the earth. Thanking yourself for taking the time out of your day for your practice. Inhale to look up and blink your eyes open. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this class and I'll see you again soon. Bye.